Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for this edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Raddick, and in a moment we'll be joined by our City Manager, Mark Roloff. In the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including information from your city departments. And in the second half, we'll highlight items from the upcoming Tuesday, November 12th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in our City Manager, Mark. Thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right, well, we have quite a bit to talk about again here today. And one thing, actually, you are retiring soon, and there are candidates that are applying for your position, and there will be a meet and greet that is scheduled for November 18th, and the public is invited to come and meet the candidates and maybe ask them some questions and potentially see who the next city manager might be.
Yeah, it's awkward that we're talking about city manager and I'm not involved in it, but that's a pretty standard process. So I can tell you from my experience from 16 years ago,
Sure.
This is a great opportunity for the candidates to meet members of the public. And I will tell you that to this day, there are still individuals who I share the experience where I first met them at this meet and greet. Mm-hmm. And so I would say, you may have an opportunity to meet your future city manager and develop an instant rapport with him or her. So I would encourage people to attend the event. I found it to be a great event for me to learn about the community and meet people. So, and then I think it helped me get off to a great start. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage people that if you want to learn a little bit about the candidates and certainly let them know what your concerns or issues are, I think they'll be very receptive, mm-hmm. and I think you'll enjoy it. So I absolutely recommend it, even though I won't be there.
Okay. Well, it's kind of an informal event. It's an opportunity for residents to talk one-on-one with these candidates and, get a little insight into their vision and plans, and then even, speak to their council members about, what their thoughts are and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So November 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Oshkosh Convention Center for that. All right, we have a new resident that is coming to Menominee Park Zoo, already there actually, and we have a black bear cub.
We have a black bear cub, and we have fresh video on this thing, so
yes.
Everybody can start saying "aw" when you see it. The bear cub is named Mr. Reeves, and will be taking and has taken residence at the new Black Bear and Fox exhibit. Our folks at the Parks Department and the zoo worked with several accredited organizations to find a bear needing relocation. And Mr. Reeves is a playful 107-pound black bear who's just about 1 year old right now. Mr. Reeves comes to us from Anchorage, Alaska. And in his native Alaska, in the city of Anchorage, he was considered a nuisance bear, which meant he lost his fear of humans and started to associate with people as suppliers of food, which is a dangerous situation. It's very difficult to release them back into the wild because they've become so tame, so to speak.
Sure.
But they would still be dangerous to the public, so relocation was the best solution. So we arranged and picked Mr. Reeves up at the Milwaukee airport. It wasn't at one of the gates, of course. Mm-hmm. It was a cargo plane. But Mr. Reeves has a new home, and the home is new. It's our recently constructed bear exhibit that has all the, literally, creature comforts. So the bear needs to thrive like a tree. So Mr. Reeves got out of the building. This was the first time Mr. Reeves was able to get out of the building and started having fun and climbing the tree right away. So a lot of enrichment elements. The water feature hollowed logs, as well as a den, as well as a climbing tree. So a lot of pretty cool things. So we are just guessing that we're going to have some interest in Mr. Reeves, as well as our Fox exhibit, which we've got 3 foxes already in there. So we are going to be extending our season to have hours for Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. now through December 30th, through pretty much through the end of the year. And of course, admission to the zoo is free, but the zoo is not going to be open on weekends or holidays. We need to be there anyway to take care of the bears, feed the bears, so to speak. So we're going to be there, so we figured let's let the public get a first look at Mr. Reeves and our various foxes that are there. So, of course, we want to thank Tom and Penny Herrenberg for their continued support of the zoo. They were the largest donors, and they did other fundraising to make that Bear and Fox exhibit a reality. That was part of the long-range park plan for Menominee Park Zoo. I had the pleasure of accompanying Tom and Penny Herrenberg today, and I got to see Mr. Reeves first up. It was pretty cool. So big off actor, everybody. Check it out. Menominee Park Zoo, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, or you got to wait till next spring.
Excellent opportunity to check out Mr. Reeves. All right. And staying at the Menominee Park Zoo, they recently had their Zooloween Boo event, and it's always a great event every year. So this was their 22nd annual event, and they broke the records.
Oh yeah, and you may recall we didn't even have it at the zoo last year because of everything going on with doing the roads in Menominee Park. So it was back, and it was better than ever. It was held on October 19th, and a record number of people came. 3,500 people showed up for the event. That's the biggest Zooloween Boo we've ever had. This is an event sponsored by the Zoological Society to raise funds for future zoo events. And families came to the zoo, kids went trick-or-treating from booth to booth, and the bounce house, crafts, contest, entertainment, so much more. It is a great family event, and obviously when you got 3,500 people showing up, they tend to think so as well. So again, the zoo's still open, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. So, and of course, admissions remains free thanks to the Tom and Penny Herrenberg Foundation. So I don't know, it sounds like a great event continuing and being very successful, Andy.
That's absolutely right. And continue to look for all the events that they have at the Menominee Park Zoo. They have a lot planned year-round, so take advantage of those events for sure.
Well, the zoo has really progressed in recent years to have more native type of animals.
Right.
Even though the bear comes from Alaska, black bears are common here in Wisconsin. So the fox are very common to Wisconsin. So we like to have the indigenous animals, which I think makes a fuller experience. I mean, I'm sure an elephant would be cool, but there aren't too many elephants roaming around Oshkosh. So it's a great zoo, and we're very proud of it.
It's an excellent place to visit for sure. Another excellent place to visit actually is the Oshkosh Public Library. And our library likes to make sure that they're always keeping up with their services, and one of those important features is their brand identity, and it's been a little while since they refreshed that, and they are very excited that they have a new website and a new brand identity, and this is all very new.
Yeah, it's a great physical library to go visit, but virtual part of the library is still a very important part. So yeah, the library's newly updated website has some features some easy navigation to help visitors discover new books, explore local history, and just access resources for learning and entertainment, as well as it's a great location to help look for jobs and things like that. Some great resources. So the new website has an events calendar that includes program registration, room reservations, anything you may want to do at the library. And so, of course, there's a new tagline, which is "Spark Your Story," and that's our new logo. It's our new tagline. So it features the lion's head, either Harris or Sawyer. I'm not sure which one this is, but they both look alike, and vibrant sparks symbolizing our 124-year history and the core values with the library of strength and leadership. So you're going to notice this new visual on our library cards throughout the building and at outreach events in the coming months, as well as on our website.
Absolutely. Make sure you visit the Oshkosh Public Library's website, check it out, and you can learn a lot more about their services there and find out about what you can sign up for. Okay, another community resource that is very important for our community is the Oshkosh Senior Center, and they recently had a successful open house. They welcomed around 400 people, and so I understand that they had a great turnout for that.
It really was it was held on October 22nd, but yeah, you mentioned 400 people, so a very good turnout. And, they were able to do so many more things to reach out to people, introduce them to a lot of services, not just with the Senior Center, but with our community. So, for example, Winnebago Senior Tour signed up over a dozen new travelers. The ukulele program has 2 new beginners signing up for sessions, but they've got a few more people that take the lessons and everything. It's just one of those little quirky things that people have really taken to. And then one of the more classic ones, the Knitter Circle, met several people who plan on joining them. So really good programs that we're happy to celebrate.
Sure, and they're looking forward to having their 50th anniversary celebration next year. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot promoting that coming up.
Oh, absolutely. The museum celebrating their 100th anniversary this year, Senior Center 50 years next year. So a lot of celebrations for some legacy institutions with the city of Oshkosh.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we also wanted to point out that the Oshkosh Water Utility is announcing that they have a new interactive map available for residents to look up the materials that comprise their water service line. We've been talking about this for quite a while now, encouraging residents to have an inspection done to check out what their water service line is. But now this map is available that provides a little bit more insight.
Yeah, it sure does. And, and it has been important for us to educate everybody and about the the dangers of lead service lines. They're not totally unsafe, but being aware of it is your first step, and then get testing and everything. But now we have an interactive map that shows you can zoom in to your individual property. So we decided to zoom into our own home here at City Hall to just give you an example, because there's multiple services that we get into City Hall. So we just plugged in our address, and you can do this to your own home address, and then it pops up, tells you what the public service side of the line looks like, as well as the public or the private side, which goes into the building itself. So you can see that in this case there's not lead on the private side, and then the public side is ductile iron, which is a common material. Fortunately, in neither case, lead's there. But this capability exists throughout the city. And if you zoom out again, you get an idea of what your general neighborhood looks like. And you've heard me talk about in the past, chances are if you're south of Murdoch and east of Sawyer and north of 20th, chances are you have you have a lead service line unless you replaced it. So we have information, and if you zoom out even more, you get sort of what the general neighborhood looks like to give you a comparison of how the neighborhood compares. So that red is lead. So you can see in some of the areas quite a bit of lead, and then areas that have either they're newer or they've been redeveloped and things like that. Then it gets either yellow where they don't know, or green where it's not a lead service line. So it's a pretty interesting way to look at it. So zoom in, and if your private side does come up as unknown, we encourage you to schedule a free inspection to determine the material. You can sign up for a free water line inspection. There's also a little how to do if you want to test it yourself. There's some pretty easy ways to do that. So we want people to be aware of this. So this is one way for us to encourage people. So check out the city's website in Hot Topics and the Oshkosh Water Utility website. Either way, we can get you that to that part of the interactive map, and you can check it out yourself.
Sure. It's a very informative and interesting service. So I thought it was very interesting to take a look at that. All right, then also our residents are familiar with the Oshkosh Gateway signs. So if you've driven around Oshkosh and especially toward the outskirts of town, you've seen the Oshkosh welcome signs. They are getting a refresh.
Yeah, these are on our gateways, and one of the biggest criticisms we got was when we first got them. They were these faux stones, and it's not even faux. Everybody knows they're just plastic, and that was a little bit of a criticism that looked a little cheesy. So the Community Foundation and their partners, as part of our roundabout rejuvenation, which you've seen this fall, are getting rid of those plastic stones and just going to have a matching blue wrap around the base of it. In addition, we always had a fifth one for Jackson Street, a fifth sign that we never put up. And what we're going to be doing is we've had that one in storage, and a city parcel. It's a little bit inside the city, but it's still on a gateway, and we're looking at putting it at the Murdoch-Jackson Street, just northwest of the roundabout, at the sort of the northwest corner of that intersection. So look for that coming to that area. But you'll see this refreshing coming up. But it's the final component of the roundabout rejuvenation project that we began this fall. And so we're happy about that. And again, we want to thank the Community Foundation as a major partner of the roundabout rejuvenation project.
Yeah, the roundabouts are looking a lot nicer with all the new landscaping and with these signs. It's really a nice fresh look for the city. All right, and we also wanted to point out that the curbside loose leaf collection continues to be underway in Oshkosh, and I've seen the truck go down my street. Honestly, this continues on for a few more weeks.
Yep, it runs through November 22nd, so be on the lookout for that. It's the day after your garbage collection, so leaves only, no grass, brush, or garden plants. Get it on the terrace. Do not put it into the road. We will, our little elephant trunk that we call it gets all across your terrace. We will take care of it. We just don't want them in the streets. It can clog the storm sewer. And we know that kids have tried to play in the leaves. We don't want them in the street. So that's why we do it that way. So, just follow all those rules. And if you want more information, just give the sanitation office a call. It's 920-232-5383.
Okay, so loose leaf collection through November 22nd. Just a reminder on that. Okay, Mark, I think we'll take a quick break here. Stay with us for some highlights from the upcoming Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming Tuesday, November 12th Oshkosh Common Council meeting. So Mark, I know that the big topic of discussion at this meeting will be the Oshkosh City budget for the year 2025. And I know it's a little bit deeper into the agenda, but why don't we just start off with that and discuss that a little bit more, since we've been working toward this for quite a while to get to this point.
We sure have. The council begins getting presentations on the budget and all the assumptions as far back as June or July, and then it runs through November. We just had the public hearing the other day. Nobody showed up to make public comment. We had a handful of people in the audience to listen to these things, but the council has been looking at this pretty deeply and had 2 all-day sessions on October 28th and 29th where they heard presentations from different departments. And so there's a lot of things that they took a look at, asked a ton of questions, and as a matter of fact, through that process, they're actually adding 11 positions to the city budget for 2025. And that's the most I've seen in my 16 years here with the city. So I want to talk about those a little bit. I think it's important to talk about those.
Yeah, what departments are those positions from?
Yeah, public safety and that's probably the biggest one. In public safety in the fire department, we're adding 8 firefighter EMT paramedic positions. That is to add a 4th ambulance unit. We currently have 3 that work around the clock, and based on the demand we've seen in calls for service, we've added, proposed adding a 4th ambulance unit. That was something that council felt very strongly about. And that's costly, but I think they recognize the demand for service really demands that we get that done. Additionally, we're adding 2 positions in the police department, and it's really about an outreach program to address issues related to our homeless community. We're pairing up with Winnebago County that we're going to be cost sharing with with them for a social worker that will partner up with one of our police officers to talk to homeless individuals, help line them up to programs that exist that they can address whatever underlying factors may be causing homelessness for that individual. And then in addition, another position will be a sergeant that will pretty much supervise a downtown location where the police department will be there. If they're not out, walking the beat, so to speak, in the downtown area or other areas, that they can also stop in there, that you can stop in and talk to a police officer. And we think that outreach is very important to connect with the community. And we can certainly, if somebody walks in and they need some services, we can direct them, whether it's human services that the county provides or just other resources in the community that they may need to address whatever issues they might have. Our police department, they're problem solvers, and that's what we want to focus on. And then thirdly, you've seen all the new roundabouts and rejuvenated and new parklands and that. So we're adding an additional park maintenance person to address the increased demand we have for park maintenance services. And so council's adding 11 positions. That's going to be a tough one to do.
And there is a formula if residents would like to do a calculation for what their city portion of the tax bill will be.
Yeah, the council was concerned because of the revaluation and the cost of these positions about how it might impact individuals. So they're actually going to be using fund balance, which is a bit of a risky proposition, but I think council felt they wanted to lessen the impact with the revaluation, which will increase residential tax bills. To offset that and to cover some of these costs is to use fund balance, the fund part of this, for next year. So you're going to see that, and you'll be able to take a look at ways to calculate your tax bill. It's going to be down to $8.14 the way it's proposed. You can take the notice that you got, the valuation notice, take that, make it how many thousands you have. So a $150,000 house is 150 times 814. That'll give you a rough estimate of what your tax bill from the city will be for next year.
Okay, all right. More information to come on that one. All right. Then we also wanted to point out that one of the retired ambulances from the Oshkosh Fire Department is being sold to the Grand Chute Fire Department.
Yeah, this is an arrangement that we worked out with the Grand Chute Fire Department because we work very closely on a variety of things. This will allow us to sell it to them for a nominal price, but then they'll assume all the maintenance responsibilities, as well as when we maybe need another ambulance, we can use it at no cost, that it comes back, and that we can use it for a short amount of time in case something's in the shop or gets in an accident or something like that.
Okay. Then we also have another item adopting essentially an electric vehicle readiness plan. And, we just talked about budget. Do we have EV charging stations budgeted for in that plan? Or?
No, we don't. The idea in the plan itself is if we were ever either able to get a grant or if the council decided they wanted to budget something, this gives you an idea of where they would go. It also identifies where private sector, which is where you're going to find most of these eventually, where they are. This just gives you an idea. If we did any, where would we put them? And that makes us ready to apply for a grant if necessary. So none are planned in any future budget, but we're ready in case.
Okay, very good. All right, and then we hate to talk about snow and ice because we've actually had a very, very nice fall here. But if folks do not shovel or clean the snow off of their sidewalk, there are some fees if the city has to come and do it. And so we are taking a look at approving a rate for that here.
Right. Now, fortunately, if you want to look at it that way, the rate is going to remain unchanged for basic snow removal from a single residence. The bids came in good, and we were able to keep the rate the same. Trust me, we have no interest in doing this from people's sidewalks. Please take care of it yourself. Here are the rules. Sidewalks need to get cleared within 24 hours after a snowfall stopped. Please do not cover fire hydrants or throw snow in the street. In fact, if you got a fire hydrant near your house, if you can clean it up, that'd be great. But if you don't clean your sidewalk, we take complaints and we go out there and we'll confirm that's not been done. But then you're going to get billed $173 per resident. Trust me, you don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. So take care of that, and then we won't have to worry about anything.
Okay. Then we're looking at creating a temporary ordinance prohibiting alcohol in city parks.
Yeah, this is something that we really recognize that we're probably one of the most lenient municipalities around, and we get complaints about people drinking in parks. And so the downtown bid recommended that we do this through April 30th. Now, this would not apply to special events that are going on in parks, rentals of facilities, things like that. But it's to address behaviors due to drinking in the park. So we'll revisit it in April, and I believe I have to correct myself. It's going to be through March 30th. It's April 1. So because things happen in the spring, so we wanted to be careful for that. So thanks for letting me correct myself. So it'll be through April 1. But the idea is take a look at it and then make some recommendations. But addressing the behaviors that happen because of drinking in parks is something we want to do.
Okay. And then we have a new resolution that, on a similar topic, approving the designated outdoor refreshment area for the downtown improvement business district.
And that's the door that allows people to take drinks out of the bars. We're going to prohibit it in the city park property, similar to what we're doing with the ordinance prohibiting alcohol in parks.
Okay, very good. Then we also are looking at approving some borrowing, and I know that we don't have the stormwater aspect in this, and is that being addressed?
Yeah, this is borrowing for projects in 2024, things that we've already been working on. This isn't for 2025, but we're not doing any borrowing for stormwater because we have a healthy fund balance, so we're not going to need to do any borrowing for any stormwater projects, which means less debt service in future years, and that's an important thing. But we're going to be doing over $17.4 million borrowing for general obligation, a lot of streets, public facilities, parks, things of that nature. And then $5.75 million for the water system and $4.3 million for our sewer system.
And I know that our finance department always tries to take advantage of the best interest rates possible.
Yeah, and there's been an interest rate cut recently, and we're hoping to take advantage of that.
Okay, very good. All right, and then we have another public works contract for West 15th Avenue reconstruction, and that's for 2025.
Right, so this is immediately after the budget gets adopted. That's one of our projects, and we've bid it out. So assuming that the project is kept in the budget, we're going to award bids. This is 15th Avenue from Oregon Street over to Ohio Street. This is our interactive map that you can get on our website, and you can look up any of the projects that are upcoming. But this gives you a little idea of the West 15th Avenue concrete reconstruction, and that'll be one of the projects we'll be working on in 2025 in our capital improvement program. So we're real happy about that.
All right. Well, Mark, I think that's about the time that we have for the show today, but we had a lot of material, and thanks for guiding us through it all.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be talking about these different projects, and we're real excited. But check out the black bear at the zoo. I got to tell you, it's pretty cool, guys.
Yeah, it is. Very exciting to see that video today. All right. Well, thanks, Mark, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you taking the time to check out more information about your local city government. Again, that Oshkosh Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. That's this Tuesday, November 12th at City Hall, which is 215 Church Avenue. You can also watch it live right here on GovTV, Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or, of course, you can listen to it on the radio, Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is also online and on the TuneIn Radio app for phones and tablets. So, for sure you can use your favorite streaming device, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV. Just search for the Oshkosh Media app. And you can always look for the Oshkosh Media YouTube channel for the full archives. So join us again in 2 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for tuning in.